All right, so here's our outdoor variable pitch, suspended MoonBoard. We got it set up with some little bistro lights and some chairs right now. It's currently set at 25 degrees, but it's pretty easy to bring down to the 40. The front here just uses an outdoor acrylic paint. Grayish is the color. All of the plywood, both the front and the back, are they deliberately have a 1/8 inch gap between each sheet. This is something that allows for expansion and contraction due to temperature and humidity changes. You can see it's the same on the edge. We actually cut a rabbet in the side, in all of the edges here, so that there's no exposed plywood edges. The plywood edges are very susceptible to water damage, so we made sure none of them were exposed. The same is true on the back here. You can see that the back is just 1/4 inch plywood, but the backing and the sides are all sealed with just a deck stain sealant. The kicker here is the only thing that is slightly out of spec. I added a little bit more distance here than is actually in the spec. Everything else is on. I also, well, I guess technically I centered all the holes. Drove me nuts and it's actually inconsistent in the spec. So which side there was supposed to be in excess of. I centered them, but the distance between each hold is exactly the spec, including the awkward and frustrating additional space. Or maybe it's I think it's slightly additional space between panels. I would not have designed it that way, but that's the MoonBoard spec, and so I built it to it. This kicker is it actually goes into sandstone. Each piece, including this last one on the left, all of them go through at least 2 feet of sandstone that we uncovered. There's about 6 inches of topsoil, and that was really hard work, but it actually was great because it kept us from having to contend with the roots from the massive oak tree that supports it. So we didn't chop any roots. Didn't have to keep any of those posts short. All 4 of them are in rock and then cemented. All the ground contact pieces, so the major supports, and then that whole bottom piece of the bottom 2x4, those are pressure treated. The rest are all just Douglas. That's a big piano hinge, or a continuous hinge. Is 304 stainless steel. It's quite a beast. It's 6 feet long, about a 1/4 inch pin. That was pretty tricky to source, but it provides all of the strength we need and a lot more. The suspension system, you can see here we have a worm drive winch. Worm drive winches are awesome because they don't have a brake that you can accidentally flip and drop the whole wall. We have it going up to the load beams up there through some custom brackets I built, all stainless steel up there. And then to 2 independent anchors into the saddle up there. They have a little 2x4 blocks to prevent strangulation of the tree. Again, each one of those is independent except for at the winch. With the piano hinge, the continuous hinge there, the wall should be able to support all of the torsion that would happen if one of them failed. However, we have a safety strap there in the event that those both failed somehow, or the winch, which is the single point of failure on the system, if like that pin sheared somehow, it would get caught by that safety line. You can see right there, that's one of those like OSHA expanding straps that expands at 900 force-pounds for up to 4 feet with a 5,000 force-pound or pounds of force tubular webbing that catches it. We have 2 different lengths, one for where it's currently at, which is 25 degrees, and then another length. You see a little extension there with a little paracord to make it easy to hold at 40 degrees. And those are, the two standards for moon boards. This tree here is, I guess, technically our only real assumption here in terms of no redundancy. If this entire centerpiece were to split and fall, there's nothing we can do about that. So other than that, everything is fully redundant and has a safety factor of at least 5. We addressed galvanic issues between the stainless steel pieces and the galvanized steel anchor by using a vinyl coated wire rope here. You can see this is actually plastic coated. We have our little manual winch, which is actually really easy to use, but also a bit slow. Works great for adjusting between angles, but then if we want to drop the whole wall, just go grab a drill and do it that way. Makes it easy. Crash pads, those are our 2 Metolius crash pads. And then we got a really nice, essentially brand new gymnastics pad. I think it's got the brand over here. This is really low density, and so it wouldn't be great by itself, because if you land on your heel, you just kind of go straight through to the ground. But in combination with the Metolius, which is really, really high density and really uncomfortable to land on, it is just the perfect combination. You can walk on it with, as if it's a perfectly flat, solid surface, and still take a nice fall onto your butt, and it doesn't hurt. It's a really great combination, and we're keeping our eyes out for a second one of those, because those, obviously neither crash pads aren't cheap, and neither are these, but I would love to get my hands on 2 more of those. We also have some bistro lights strung up, a couple little chairs here, a little Bluetooth speaker, which I have mixed opinions about. Sounds pretty good. The USB-C is junk. It's fake USB-C. But anyhow, this is our wall. I will answer any questions if you post them, and post up some CAD diagrams and some construction photos. It was a lot of work, but very, very worth it. We've clearly gotten a lot of use out of it already. You can see all of our shoe marks so far. Yeah. Thanks for watching.